Well, howdy, yo. I got a whole bunch of more knives that came in. But before those, I actually have more that I didn't shoot me kind of opening up. So I will go ahead and cover some of those now because they're just probably as interesting as these guys here. Except for maybe this one. This one is a SixLeaf. It's obviously from Rattlesnake. It's in 1.4116 steel. Some people also call it 4116. And it's basically what Swiss Army uses for their knives. So nothing super special or anything like that. This is a single detent non-locking knife, which is pretty interesting. It has both this and this. It makes you think maybe you could flip it or top flip it, but the detent on this thing is so difficult that it's just a two-handed opening knife. It's almost a 4-inch blade though. It's pretty large, and it's got wood handles. No specification on what that wood is, but they're wood, and they are definitely not stabilized. You can see a whole lot of voids and stuff in there, which isn't in itself all that terrible of a thing, I suppose. But yes. This thing does have bearings on the inside. It's using some black plastic bearings with some, or black plastic cages with some steel bearings going on in there. And the liners on the inside, they're steel. We got some brass pins going on here, and they are pins. So you can take this apart as in removing the scales on it and pull the knife blade out. But you can't actually separate the scales there. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. But hey, for a knife that's well under 20 bucks, it was kind of interesting. And might as well. I picked up all the rest of the SixLeaf stuff at this point. Okay. Let's see. Another one I got in recently. This is TwoSuns, the TS337. It's a Wong design. And pretty outrageous looking. It looks like we have basically 5 distinct layers worth of milling going on the titanium on both sides on here. So at the very top little notch areas here, it's 0.52 of an inch, but almost all of it is 0.47 or lower. So very, very thin knife. And yeah, it's quite a pointy little sucker, isn't it? Probably one of the most exaggerated, wow, I sounded drunk there, exaggerated clip points I think I've ever seen. But yeah, this thing is pretty darn interesting. Yep, like I said, it's a 337. It's in D2. It's one of those newer ones that are using D2 instead of 14C28N. In this particular case, it's blackwashed along with the handles there. So hey, a whole bunch of corrosion protection as well. So it's pretty neat. The clip is very, very short on it, as you can see there. But there's also a lot that kind of pokes out of the top. Doesn't bother me, but some people who are into some of the newer stuff, it's probably a little bit more up your alley. Or not up your alley. Let's see. I've covered this thing before. This is the TS111 Baleen. I got the S90V variant of it. I still have the D2 variant of it as well. This thing, not quite sure. It was fairly easy to sharpen. I haven't done any cut tests on it yet, but I suppose we'll see. The S90V is a little hit and miss from my experience. But yeah, the action on it's still great. It's absolutely identical in every other way to the original one. So that one also came in. All right, let's see. I got another button lock here. This is Night Morning. This is the TS338. It's using that same button and impression kind of thing that you got from the 313 there. You're also getting the multi-row bearings going on there with this one. This one is also a blackwashed D2 blade. Like I said, they are moving that way for some of these other ones here. For the newer ones going on here. I do kind of like the lighter color on these micarta scales here. Probably a lot easier to dye some sort of color besides just jet black, which is a lot of what you probably end up doing with What are these guys? This is another new one that I got the other day along with all the rest of these. This is another Josh Watko design. This one is the TS87. It's D2 and kind of stony washed kind of thing, but they did regress a bit on their micarta. It's back to the micarta, but the 85 that they did just a little bit ago had this nice polish, and it was also kind of olive drab green sort of stuff. I don't necessarily care for the color all that much, but this was definitely a step up as far as the feel on the micarta in there. So a little sad for this guy, but it's a very large cleaver, has a very large swoop going on there, and the tip is pretty darn close to there. Like, you can't really reach inside there, and so you're good. And you can't really get to the blade on the back there. And hey, it's got some thumb studs, so that's interesting. But yeah, just like the 85 there that I just put away, it's probably just a little bit small for my hands. You can't choke up just a little bit there, but yep, that's another interesting design. Not an incredibly amazing action going on that one. This one is absolutely amazing, though. This one I do actually want to address something on, and something that I'm worried about. You can see we're going into micarta again, a single screw there. And I will go ahead and pop this out real quick. Work with me here. Yeah, there we go. So this one could possibly have the same kind of problem that the TS, what is it, the 273 had, where, yep, a single screw into micarta there. This one hasn't gotten much kind of side-to-side walk, but I can see that it's possibly going to start. So it seems like Night Morning may not have learned his lesson from his first attempt at using micarta for scales on that. Something that you probably could do. Oh, I don't have one in front of me at the moment. But what Wong has done on some of his knives, especially like this, is they'll have a single screw, and then you have a pin that goes all the way through also into the steel, and that adds like a second point to keep the clip from kind of getting too much torque going on the scale material. I think that's pretty much all you would really need to rectify any of those things for an up version, if you will. But yep, a little worried about that one. But otherwise, there's a lot of good stuff to say about this one. Really comfortable. You know, if I'm using it in the standard grip, it's only a 3-finger knife for me, but you can easily choke up and get that full 4-finger grip there. We got a lanyard thing hidden there on the back there. It's using those same thumb studs that the 313 used, and I know a lot of people don't like them, kind of myself included. With these ones, it does not feel good to go from the back because they're very straight up and down and all that. But using it like you're putting your thumb into a crown on the top, that works pretty well. It just really rockets that blade out there. Probably a little bit more aggressive than it needs to be, but that's okay. All right, and the other one, before I get into these guys here, is another button lock. This is a Mazwan Mokhtar. It's the TS303. It's in M390. It's in carbon fiber. It's in titanium. It slices, it dices, it juliennes and fries. And it's got a smaller button lock than what Night Morning has done on all of his stuff. This blade really did take a lot of effort for me to sharpen, so I do have some high hopes for the way that this one is going to act for me, so that's good to see. It's not using multi-row bearings, just a single row, but that's okay. The action is still super nice and dangly. And the thumb stud on this thing, very comfortable to use. It does also, this is probably the first knife that I've ever owned or handled that is a button lock with a front flipper. It's not a great front flipper. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's possible, but it is nowhere near comfortable, especially compared to the thumb studs there. But there you go. I will go out there and mention that this is the 303. I don't know the official name for it, but if you're familiar, this is a TS304, also by him. And yeah, we can definitely see a lot of similarities. This one is obviously larger, both in the handle and the blade, of course. But blades themselves, pretty similar. This one has a little bit more belly. Obviously, I changed the shape of this a little bit to work on that barrel spacer thing on the back there. And, well, it didn't work, but I gave it my shot. So yeah, this one doesn't fall prey to that. I have tried quite a bit, and yeah, the blade doesn't come anywhere close to the barrels on there. And also, just due to the nature of the way the button lock works, you also really can't get too much blade flex that's going to shove it up in there, like happened with this guy. So I guess if you really are interested in this particular knife, you can go ahead and get this one. But that being said, it's going to be more expensive. I mean, this one's 14C28N, and you know, steel frame lock or steel liner lock, whereas this is a titanium with some carbon fiber button lock, M390, a little bit larger. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit more expensive, but hey, this one doesn't destroy its edge, whereas this one kind of does. So between the two of them, I do appreciate that one a little bit more. The ergonomics between these two are also very similar. You can see they both have kind of a center channel kind of scooped out of them. So yeah, there's a lot going on between these two that are very similar. This one doesn't quite have that front flipper, but it looks like it possibly could have at some point in the design cycle. But yeah, all right. Well, I will go ahead and give out some more shout outs to Cindy, because she sent all of these, as well as the last batch actually as well. And all of that stuff came from Amazon, whereas all of this has come from eBay. I still, of course, have a whole bunch more coming from eBay, but some of it's been kind of stuck and needs to be resent, and some of it's just taking its sweet little time. But I have no idea what's what, so let's just start opening some stuff up. Ah, yes. Okay. This is 30 something, rather. Yeah, 339. Okay. This is another night morning design here. No pocket clip on this one. So I guess in that particular way it matches the TS69. A little bit more of a traditional feel kind of thing knife there. But a whole lot of interesting milling going on there. Yeah. Pretty interesting. Does have a nice handle grip there. Pretty nice ergonomics. Finger choil, maybe just a touch small, but larger than a lot of his others. So that's pretty darn good. What do we got for the blade length on this little sucker? Yeah, it's almost 3 1/4 inches, just a little shy of that. Yeah, that's pretty darn interesting. Let's see. Oh, this looks like it's going to be the Sidewinder from Mazwan Mokhtar. I think that's the TS341. Maybe I'm very wrong on that, but I suppose we'll find out very soon here. 341, yeah. This is a D2 blade. It's interesting because it's coated up top, but we have satin down the sides here. This is mostly titanium frame lock, but we have some carbon fiber bolsters. Done a little bit different than the Jelly Jerry one there. Let's go ahead and clean the blade off just a little bit. This guy looks like it is basically a top flipper. It's going to be a little bit difficult for you to use your index finger for it, but yeah, easy enough with the thumb. This is also kind of a leaf-shaped blade. We have a very, very subtle clip kind of going there, but otherwise, yeah, I do like that. And because of that, it gives you just a little bit more knuckle clearance, so that's pretty darn good. I like this guy. The blade on is just a little bit shorter than I kind of thought it was, but yeah, that's okay. Yeah, just a touch over 3 inches. Pocket clip, looks like we have a decent amount of cloth clearance there. And we can see we have a groove in the back spacer that goes all the way up top until the blade stop pin. More and more, I'm appreciating those kind of designs there. Just because it's, you know, protects the blade a lot more than having something that's open all the way. This one, I could definitely get a lot better action out of that after I clean it up and apply some of my own lubrication and tightness specification. So I will definitely do that. Let's see. Hey, different print times. You can tell by the different color. Anyway, not that it particularly matters, but this one feels heavy. Oh, is this that weird Wong design? I think so. Yeah, it is. Kerblam. Yeah, this is what I would call Persian AF. Very generous choil for me, so that's great. Probably about the most aggressive jimping I've ever seen in my life. So there's also that. We do have carbon fiber inlays on both sides that have really aggressive, from this way, vertical milling going on there. But we also have that stuff there. Itty bitty little pocket clip. That's kind of cute. And yeah, it's a front flipper. Front flips super nice. And we have a whole bunch of finger grooves on the back there, which definitely helps if you do want to grab it a little bit like that. However, I will say that beak isn't really doing it for me. I could choke up around the jimping there, still get my fingers in those grooves, and that would work all right. Yeah, very, very untraditional kind of knife going on there. And last but not least here, I think this is the other TwoSun design here. Yeah, so this is the 211. Sure enough is. 14C28N, stonewashed. Oh, we got some nice marbled carbon fiber going on here. A couple of different inlay parts. This one's quite a bit larger than the 212. Still basically straight backed, but it does drop just a little tiny bit there with that swedge. Yeah, I am liking this a lot more than I ended up thinking I was going to. Hey, the action right out of the box is pretty darn good as well, so I appreciate that. See, yeah, it's going to be a little bit difficult to try to get into the grooves there with your fingers. You can do it, but you don't have a huge amount. We got a fairly late detent going on this one. a little bit more jelly jerry-ish and detent design than some of the other guys here, but it's all right. Yeah, I'm really liking this one. Nice contouring on the titanium as well. Pocket clip is reasonably interesting. And very, very nice and comfortable in the hand. Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm really liking this one a lot more than I kind of thought I would. Not that I thought it was going to suck, but it's just a heck of a lot better than I originally thought. So, well, I guess here at the end, I'll go ahead and line them all up. So we got the 211 here. Pop you here. We got the, I'll even open them up. Why not? So got the 211 over there. We got the 341 Sidewinder over here. I'm sure that's probably named after the snake and not the missile that was named after a snake. Whatever. We got the TS339. We got the 288. And then we got the 303. And the 338. Here we are. And the 87. And the 337. There's another one there. And yeah, the SixLeaf SL10. So yes, a whole bunch of new knives. I mean, there was also technically the 111 and S90V, but whatever. I've already done covered this and reviewed this little guy right here. I don't know why, but alrighty. So yeah, I got a whole bunch of new knives. This one is kind of strange just because of just how strong that detent is, and that it's only a single side that has that detent rather than it having a detent on both sides. You can very much tell if the pivot is a little bit loose on this thing because it cranks way over to the side because of the force that detent has. This guy, really, really like it for a nice, long, really comfortable blade that's very, very thin because of the amount of milling work that's been done to the titanium there. We have a gigantic cleaver kind of thing with some of the roughest micarta I've felt from TwoSun. I will probably try and sand that down and try and do a little bit different texture on there because this just doesn't feel super great to me right now, but that's okay. This one, I do like it quite a bit. It's got a lot of EDC sort of things going for it. Very thick in the hand, which is great for hand filling. But yeah, possibly it will develop problems with the pocket clip being mounted into the micarta. We got the 303. Yet again, I don't know the name of this one. I will have to check more Instagram things and or just hit up Mazwan himself. Seems to be a little quiet from time to time. I don't get a whole lot of answers from him, but I'll see if I can't figure this guy out. Pocket clip's really kind of crazy and burly there, but also has that single ball point that he does quite a bit there. Very, very crazy Wong design, the TS338. Nice that way. Even better that way, which makes me think that this probably has some sort of a self-defense kind of things going on for it, seeing as how the reverse hammer grip is so nice and comfortable with it. 339, it's all sorts of strange because no pocket clip, but no pocket clip equals no hot spots from a pocket clip, and this thing is very nice and comfortable for just a really traditional looking kind of pattern going on there. Yeah, I like that. 341 Sidewinder. That's kind of a front slash top flipper. Works out all right. Just a little bit smaller than I thought it was. And the 211 here, which is much larger than the 212, also by Tiguas Onishiki. But yeah, I'm digging this thing. But all right, that is the pile of knives that I have here. There's geez, probably another 8 or 9 that's coming from eBay sometime in the next month. But seems like a lot of them probably aren't going to show up anytime soon. And yeah, these 4 did come in today, so hey, this was the perfect time for me to take a look at a whole bunch of new TwoSuns, because basically all of them except for the 87 are quite new. So, alrighty, well, as always, I appreciate y'all for watching. Have yourself a wonderful rest of your day, yo, and subscribe.